In this class, we are going to learn how to solve quadratic equation using the completing the square method. Okay, let's start with the first question. We are asked to find the value of x in the quadratic equation 12x squared minus 5x minus 2 equals to 0 using the completing the square method. Okay, now in solving this equation using the completing the square method, the first step is that you have to take the constant term to the other side of the equation. You understand? So the constant term in this quadratic equation is what? Negative 2. You understand? This is the constant term. So I'm going to take negative 2 to the right hand side of the equation. So the quadratic equation becomes like this: 12x squared minus 5x equals to 2. You understand? Okay. Now, after taking the constant term to the right hand side of the equation, the next step is that you are going to check the coefficient of the highest power of the unknown in the quadratic equation. The coefficient of the highest power of the unknown in the quadratic equation is 12. If it is 1, there is no need to divide all through by the coefficient. You understand? We want to make the coefficient of x squared. You understand? We want to make it 1. We want to make it unity. You understand? So, in an attempt to do that, I'm going to divide all this equation by 12. Do you understand? Listen, I'm very sure you are part of our previous class. In our previous class, we solved quadratic equation whereby the coefficient of x squared is unity. In that case, we don't need to divide all through by the coefficient of x squared. You understand? But in this equation, the coefficient of x squared is 12. So, in an attempt to make it 1, I'm going to divide this quadratic equation by 12. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have this divided by 12, this divided by 12, and this divided by 12. You understand? So, here I'm going to have x squared minus 5x all over 12 equals to, now this fraction can be reduced. You understand? So I'm going to have 1 all over 6. Okay, now you can see that the coefficient of x squared is now to unity. Now the next step is that you have to square the half of the second term and add it to both sides of the equation. Listen again, you have to square the half of the second term and add it to both sides of the equation. The second term is negative 5 all over 2 all over 12. This is the second term, negative 5 all over 12. Do you understand? So now the second term is negative 5 all over 12. Now I'm going to find the half of negative 5 all over 12. The half of negative 5 all over 12 is what? 1 over 2 multiplied by negative 5 all over 12. That is the half. Half is what? 1 over 2 of means product. Negative 5 all over 12. Take the product. You are going to have negative 5 all over 24. You understand? Okay? So this is the half of the second term. Now, but I have to square it. It is the square of the half of the second term that you are going to add to both sides of the equation. You understand? So this is what I'm adding to both sides of the equation. Negative 5 all over 24 squared. Do you understand? Okay? So here I'm going to have x squared minus 5x all over 12 plus negative 5 all over 24 squared equals to 1 over 6 plus negative 5 all over 24 squared. Do you understand? I take the half of the second term and square it, then I add it to both sides of the equation. That's what I did. Okay, now the next step here is that you have to make the right hand side, the left hand side, we have to rewrite it as perfect squared. You understand? So here I'm going to have x squared. Okay, x minus, please pay attention. Okay, x minus 5 all over 24 squared equals to this. I write this as perfect square. That's why I have this. Okay, now equals to 1 over 6. Okay, I can simplify the right hand side of the equation. Do you know? Please listen to the explanation again. The reason why we call this method completing the square is because here we have to rewrite the right hand side as perfect squared. Rewriting as perfect square simply means that I just put, if I expand this bracket now, I'm going to have this. You understand? So I make this a perfect square. So to simplify the equation, you understand? So now for the next step, for the right hand side, I can simplify the right hand side by, you can see this, negative 5 all over 24 square simply means negative 5 over 24 times negative 5 over 24. You understand? Okay, so negative 5 all over 24 multiplied by negative 5 all over 24. You understand? That's what is meant by negative 5 all over negative 5 over 24 square. You understand? Now let us proceed. Negative 5 times negative 5, that will give us positive 25. So here I'm going to have 25. Okay, please, are you following? Now 24 times 24, that is 576. Okay, 576. Do you understand? Now please, I want to pay attention. Okay, we can still simplify the right hand side of the equation, the right hand side of this equation. The LCM of 576 and 6 is 576. You understand? So 576 divided by 6, that is 96. 96 times 1 is 96. Okay, 96 plus 576 divided by 576. What's the answer? That will give us 1 times 25 is what? 25. Do you understand? Okay, so let us x minus 5 all over 24 squared equals to this. Okay, now from this point we can, okay, before we take the square root of both sides, let us add the numerator of this equation. So I'm going to have x minus 5 all over 24 squared equals to 96 plus 25, that is 121. So I'm going to have 121 all over 576. You understand? Okay, now from this point we can take the square root of both sides, and the reason why we want to take the square root of both sides is that we want to eliminate the square at the left hand side of the equation. You understand? So here I'm going to have the square root of this and the square root of this. Okay, now this square will be cancelled by this square. You understand? So I'm left with what? X minus 5. Okay, let me quickly erase this. Okay, let us erase what I got here. So I'm going to have x minus 5 all over 24. Are you paying attention? Equals to plus or minus. Now square root of 121 is what? 11. So I'm going to have 11 all over. Now square root of 576, that is 24. Okay, so I'm going to have 11 all over 24. You understand? Now I'm going to take this negative 5 all over 24. I'm going to take it to the right hand side of the equation. So the equation now becomes like this: x equals to, if this negative 5 all over 24 crosses the equal sign to the right hand side of the equation becomes 5 over 24 plus or minus 11 over 24. 5 all over 24 plus or minus 11 all over 24. You understand? Okay, now from this point I'm going to separate the fraction. You understand? So here I'm going to have x equals to 5 all over 24 plus 11 all over 24, or x equals to 5 all over 24 minus 11 all over 24. You understand? So by so doing, I've separated this fraction because this is two fractions separated by two signs. Okay, here now let us take the LCM of both fractions. I'm going to have x equals to, now the LCM is what? 24. Okay, 24 divided by 24, 1 times 5 is 5 plus 24 divided by 24, 1 times 11 is what? 11. Okay, you understand? Okay, now let us proceed for the other side. The LCM is also what? 24. You understand? 24 divided by 24, that is 1 times 5 is what? 5. 24 divided by 24 is 1 times negative 11, that is negative 11. You understand? Okay, now I'm going to have x equals to 16 all over 24, or, now what is 5 minus 11? 5 minus 11 is negative 6. You understand? So I'm going to have negative 6 all over 24. You understand? Now we can reduce both fractions. You understand? We can reduce both fractions. For the first fraction, 16 divided by 24. What can we use to reduce 16 and 24? We can use 4 to reduce 16 and 24. You understand? 16 divided by, and we can use 8. You understand? 8 divided by 16 is 2. So I'm going to have 2 all over. 8 divided by 24 is 3. So 2 all over 3. That is the value of x here. Now, for the second one, now we have negative 6 all over 24. Okay, we can divide both the numerator and the denominator by 6. You understand? So here I'm going to have Negative 6 divided by 6, that is what? Negative 1. And 24 divided by 6, that is what? That is 4. You understand? So the value of x is 2 over 3 or negative 1 all over 4. Do you understand? Okay, let's have another question. Find the value of x in the quadratic equation 3x squared plus 14x plus 8 equals to 0. Okay, we are still going to use the completing the square method to solve that equation. Okay, so to solve this quadratic equation using the completing the square method, the first step is that we have to move the constant term to the right hand side of the equation. You understand? The constant term in this quadratic equation is what? Plus 8. You understand? So I'm going to take plus 8 to the right hand side of the equation. So for this, I'm going to have 3x squared plus 14x equals to negative 8. Do you understand? If the positive 8 crosses the equals to sign, the sign is going to change to negative. You understand? So that's why I'm having negative 8 at the right hand side of the equation. Now, the next step is that you have to check the coefficient of the highest power of the unknown in your quadratic equation. If the coefficient is not 1, then you have to divide all through by that coefficient. And you can see that the coefficient of the highest power of the unknown, which is x squared, is what? 3. So here, I'm going to divide this quadratic equation by 3. You understand? Please, do you understand what I just said? Having taken the constant term to the right hand side of the equation, you have to check the coefficient of x squared. If it is not 1, that is, if it is not unity, if it is not 1, you have to divide all the quadratic equation. You have to divide the quadratic equation by that coefficient. You understand? So here, because the coefficient is not 1, I'm going to divide this quadratic equation by 3. You understand? So this will be divided by 3, and this divided by 3, and this divided by 3. You understand? Okay? So here I'm going to have x squared. Please pay attention. X squared plus 14x all over 3 equals to negative 8 all over 3. Do you understand? Now, from this point, the next step is that we have to add the square of the half of the second term to both sides of the equation. Now, the second term is what? 14 over 3. You understand? The second term is 14 all over 3. And now I'm going to take the half of the second term, then square it. After squaring it, I'm going to add it to both sides of the equation. You understand? So the second term is what? 14 all over 3. Half of the second term simply means multiplying it by 1 over 2. You understand? So I'm going to have 1 over 2 multiplied by 14 all over 3. That will be what? 14 all over 6. You understand? Now 14 over 6 can be reduced to 7 over 3. 7 all over 3. You understand? So I'm going to square the half of this second term. You understand? Then I'm going to add it to both sides of the equation. So I'm going to square this 7 over 3. Okay, sorry. I'm going to square it. Do you understand? You see, I took the half of this 14 over 3. It gives me what? 14 over 6. Then I realized that the fraction can be reduced. So I reduced the fraction to 7 over 3. Then I square that. I square 7 over 3. It is that 7 over 3 square that I'm going to add to both sides of the equation. You understand? That is why we call this method completing the square. So here, I'm going to have x squared. Please pay attention. X squared plus 14x all over 3 plus 7 over 3 squared. 7 over 3 squared equals to negative 8 all over 3 plus 7 all over 3 squared. Do you understand? Okay? Here, I'm going to have. Now, the next step here is that you have to rewrite the left-hand side as a perfect square. You have to rewrite the left-hand side of this equation as a perfect square. That simply means that you just have to put x plus what you add into all over squared. This is what it means. Okay? You just have to what you add to both sides of the equation, rewriting the left-hand side as a perfect square. You just have to take one x. You know that they are both in squared. Just take one x and take 1 out of the square. That is what? 7 over 3. Then, and by the time you expand this bracket again, you are still going to have this. You understand? But we rewrite this as a perfect square. We are going to have x plus 7 over 3. Just like we did in the first question. We take x, are you paying attention? Then negative 5 over 24. Then we put square. You understand? So that is what I mean by writing it as a perfect square. You understand? Now this will be equals to, now I'm going to simplify the right hand side of the equation. You understand? I'm going to have negative 8 all over 3 plus 7 over 3 squared. 7 over 3 squared simply means 7 over 3 times 7 over 3. 7 over 3, listen, 7 over 3 times 7 all over 3. That will be 7 times 7 is what? 49 all over 3 times 3 is what? 9. So that is 49 all over 9. You understand? So here I'm going to have 49 all over 9. Okay. Now I'm going to still simplify the right hand side of the equation before I take the square root. Okay. So the LCM here is what? 9. Here I'm going to have 9 divided by 3 is what? 3. 3 times negative 8, that is what? Negative 24. So I'm going to have negative 24 plus 9 divided by 9 is 1. 1 times 49, that is 49. You understand? Okay. So here I'm going to have x plus 7 all over 3. Don't forget the square equals to, so negative 24 plus 49, that is give us 25. Okay. So I'm going to have 25 all over 9. You understand? Okay. Now the next step is that we are going to take the square root of both sides. Okay. If you want to take the square root of both sides, you are going to have the square root of this will be, then you take the square root. Now please, whenever you are taking the square root of the right hand side of the equation, remember to add positive and negative. You understand? Because by the time we take the square root, either our answer, if we square our answer, either negative or positive, we are still going to have 25 over 9. You understand? Okay. Now this square will cancel this. This square will be cancelled by this square root. You understand? So I'm left with what? X plus 3, x plus 7 over 3 equals to plus or minus. The square root of 25 is what? 5. And the square root of 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to have 5 all over 3. The next step is that I'm going to take the positive 7 over 3 to the right hand side of the equation. So for this, I'm going to have x equals to negative 7 all over 3 plus or minus 5 all over 3. You understand? Okay, here, let us separate the fraction. I'm going to have negative 7 all over 3 plus 5 all over 3, or negative 7 all over 3 minus 5 all over 3. You understand? Now, I'm going to take the LCM. X equals to, what's the LCM? The LCM is 3. Here, the LCM is 3. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times negative 7, that is what? Negative 7. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times positive 5, that is positive 5. Okay? Now, for the other side, 3 divided by 3 is what? Okay, the LCM, sorry. The LCM is what? 3. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times negative 7, that is negative 7. 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times negative 5, that is what? Negative 5. Okay? So here, x will be equals to negative 5 plus 7. What is the answer? That will be what? Negative 2. You understand? So I'm going to have negative 2 all over 3. And for the other side, negative 7, negative 5. What is the answer? The answer is negative 12. Hello? Negative 7, negative 5. The answer is negative 12. So I'm going to have negative 12 all over 3. You understand? So x equals to negative 2 all over 3, or now negative 12 all over 3 can be reduced. That is what? Negative 4. Okay? So I'm going to have negative 4. The answer, the solution to the quadratic equation is x equals to negative 2 over 3 or negative 4. That is the final answer. Do you understand? Okay? So that will be all for this class. If you have any question regarding this, let me know in the comment section. Okay? And if you wish to practice more example, you can check the playlist on this channel. Just go to mathematics under multiple playlists. You're going to see mathematics. Then check for quadratic equation. You will see more example. You can practice with that example. By so doing, you'll be improving. You understand? Okay. So that will be all for this class. See you in the next class.